Correct.
I have a question.
Yeah, go ahead.
But look here. But you want to know something, Pablo?
So I'm looking at the Volt DEX tools, and it says that the liquidity is half of the total market. So I'm looking at another coin. How come like another coin is only like 1/8 liquidity of the total market cap? I'm sorry, I missed that whole thing.
Hey, Hello Kitty, that's the smartest question anybody could ever ask. Okay, liquidity is so important because that's the amount of money that can be sold. Okay, so like the token that you're probably looking at, let's say it has 100 million, right? It only has like 1 billion liquidity. Only 1 billion of that 100 million can be sold. So our liquidity is beautiful. We're holding somewhere around 45 to 50% of our entire market cap can be sold. So yeah, it's very rare to see that in tokens, especially when tokens skyrocket instantly. You know, so that you always got.
The rest of that liquidity held.
Well, you know, I'm gonna add on to what Pablo just said. You know about liquidity. You know, basically, what liquidity is liquidity. Liquidity is basically the ability of a coin to be easily converted to cash or other coins, right? So you have low liquidity levels that more than likely means that the market volatility is present. I mean, it's high, right? So that means you're going to have people. For instance, right? If this individual sold 11 Ethereums, that would drop the price like a hammer. So basically, you would so like if you're looking at the chart, you would basically see a long, solid red line just from 11 Ethereums, right? Because there's not enough liquidity to basically handle that conversion. So, and then when you have high liquidity, right, the spikes in the cryptocurrency prices, right? If you have high liquidity, right, it means that that coin, or else that crypto is going to be more stable, right? So it's going to have fewer fluctuations in the price. So, you know, so that's the pros of having high liquidity versus having a low liquidity. If that answers your question.
She was asking, where's the rest of the liquidity?
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you know what I mean? Like, why does $100 million coin only has 1 billion liquidity? Where's the 99? You know what I mean?
Yeah, one of those wallets.
Yeah.
You gotta actually deb that.
Yeah.
Real slick one there, man.
Yeah, that's a tough question to answer because, to be honest with you, I don't know the answer to that either. I have never understood that. I just always look at the percentages of liquidity versus market cap, and if a token at least has somewhere between 20 to 50% in liquidity, that's the most beautiful token in the world.
Oh yeah, most definitely, man. Most definitely, man. Just
and the liquidity is only gonna get bigger as we get more buyers.
Yeah.
I think what she's trying to ask is why is the liquidity not higher for that token? Is that what you're trying to ask, Hello Kitty?
Yes.
Okay, so the reason why the liquidity is not higher is because the tokenomics are not strong enough. They're not good enough in place.
Correct.
So at the end of the day, you have a high market cap and a low liquidity is because they're not doing things right, because they're either taking a lot of the liquidity and maybe pocketing it.
Yep.
Or there's just
or their contract is not that solid.
Yep.
Not a solid contract.
I mean, it's a rush project.
At the end of the day, when the liquidity is low and you want to sell, then you have to look at the liquidity to see if it's possible. Because if there's not enough money there for you to get that money, then you can't sell.
Yeah. So that means so basically you would have to hold that coin or that crypto for
until there's enough liquidity.
For years.
Yeah, until the liquidity is there.
Yeah, man, and like I don't know if you noticed, but whenever you go and you view the different addresses for like holders, that have like over 50 million, 39 million, 20 million, $60 million worth of that particular crypto, right? And you want to know why they haven't sold yet? It's because liquidity won't allow them to sell.
Because they can't. They can't sell.
They can't.
Nope.
So it's so like basically, it's basically just money flowing within here, and they can't do anything about it. They can't take it out. They can't do anything about it. So
Yeah, liquidity is a very complex subject. It really is. There's a lot to learn about it. I mean, you can tell that all of us put together, we still don't understand it 100%.
No.
We don't. We don't. All we can understand is what we see and what we know. And what we see is that we have an amazing liquidity compared to other tokens.
So, guys, at the end of the day, compared to the market cap and liquidity, what you really should be looking is at the liquidity, and not only that, but you should also be looking at the comparison and the ratio between the two, but mainly the liquidity, because that's what you're able to. That's what's accessible. That's why the word liquid is inside the word liquidity, because it can be liquidated.
Yep.
Correct.
Well, and when you put together, man, like the number of holders we have, or market cap, and or liquidity, we are providing a unique opportunity, and people better not sleep. It's not gonna be here forever, man. You know it.
Nope. All it takes is enough people with a good amount of money to see this. Whales will see this and they will respect it because this is exactly what they look for. They look for a holder amount to match the liquidity and the market cap. And what we have here right now is beautiful. I mean, you look at other tokens like Para Inu, for example. They have 3,000 holders, and their liquidity is only at 1 million, and their market cap's at like 100 million. So a whale's gonna look at that and be like, this does not look promising at all. It already has over 500 to 1,000 whales in there that are gonna slaughter each other. So
and one big seller, and it's gonna wreck the chart so bad.
Yep.
That everybody's gonna feel like disgruntled. Yeah.
Yep. It's gonna feel.
What is a good example of a liquidity versus a market cap ratio?
I say
you said before it was between 10 to 15%.
I would say that a very, very, very stable liquidity would be up to 20% to 30%.
That is very stable.
Of the market cap.
Yep.
Okay, so basically, a very stable liquidity would be 20 to 30% less than the market
Correct.
cap.
Yes. That's a very stable.
So it's slightly under. So it's slightly under the market.
Slightly under, but it's stable.
Yep.
Meaning that
that it stays within those numbers.
Correct. It will be able to withstand a $1 million, $2 million, $3 million sell.
Yep. Yeah, it's a perfect.
Right.
So let's say
without looking very ugly in the chart.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. And I'll mention a coin. A token. I was mentioning tokens. I was actually in this token, which is Shinobi. We had a few whales that basically sold off at the very, very peak when we got to the 13th decimal. And I'm thinking that was about probably like an $18 million sell-off. It didn't really affect us as much, right? Because the liquidity was at about 50 million, right? And the market cap was close to 600 million, and it didn't really affect us as much. So that's the importance of having that liquidity.
Yep, there you go.
So
yeah.
what Power just said is basically if the market cap is $1 million, okay, and the liquidity, then the liquidity, a very healthy liquidity would be at $700,000,
Correct.
or $800,000,
Yes.
compared to the market cap because it's slightly under.
Yes.
So,
Because
No.
Yeah, because whenever they sell off, right? Whenever a person sells their bag, they would take a certain percentage from the market cap and the liquidity.
Yep.
That's how it works.
Man, that was a lot of liquidity. I hope you guys all learned something on liquidity. And
That's what they want to know.
I think
They want to learn what matters.
Yep.
Yeah, man.
So
And when they mean the liquidity is locked, and when a token says that they're locking liquidity, that means there's a guarantee to have money for you to sell the coin because it's locked. Nobody can sell it.
Correct.
Yep.
Correct, Tom.
That is correct. That is very correct. So if you're holding a lot of tokens, I mean, we're not financial advisors by any means, but if I was you, I would go through all my tokens that I'm holding, and I would compare my liquidity versus my market cap. And then look at your holder counts, and then go to EtherCat and see who holds the most majority of your tokens. Because if you have somebody that holds 10%, 15%, and beyond, you're sitting in a token that can be destroyed very easily. Very easily. So Go check all that out on your tokens. Now that you learned that, I'm not gonna be here telling you what tokens to sell, what to buy, nothing. But go do your own research and just investigate. Make sure that you have the right diversity of tokens that you feel is comfortable. Okay. Remember, the liquidity has to be over 20% of the market cap, at least over 20%. If you're holding a token that has like 2% of liquidity, you're in a tough spot. Very tough spot. So go check that out.